have created the best all-around big man build. This build can shoot, rebound, dunk, it's fast, and you can even get girls with this build. Yes, you heard me right, you can get girls with this build. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. I spent a lot of time creating this build and taking into account everything from the cap breakers to the build specialization and badge perks. It helps me out a lot, so go down below and make sure you're subscribed. Solo _ on Twitch, I've been streaming every day as well, link in the description. But I don't want to waste any more time, let's get straight into it. So we're going to be wanting to create our build from scratch, whether you want to go righty or lefty, that is up to you. I'm going to show you guys what I made. If you want to copy this build, you can. If you want to tweak it or use it as a template, you can do the same thing as well if you're making a center build. But what I will say is you can go center for the position, or you could go power forward. I like going power forward because for this build, spoiler alert, we are not going to be going with like a 7'4" center. I know they're very OP right now. They're shooting over everybody. If you want to make a 7'4", you can do that, but look at the speed. 50 speed. Bro, they are so slow. They play no defense. Yes, they are crazy right now offensively. There's gonna be some patches made that probably nerf them. If you want to be all around and you want to be quick, you want to be able to play defense and also still be a really good shooter and scorer, I think you're gonna want to be shorter. You know, 7 foot even is still very slow. I like to be quick. I like to play defense. I like to play on every court, 2s, 3s, 5s. And so that's the build that I made. We're going to be going with power forward because if you do play 5s, yes, this build can play the 5, but you're probably going to want a 7-footer for the 5s. Again, those are a little too slow. So we will be going power forward and 6'9". A lot of people that start off the year went 6'7". I'm not trying to clip farm. That's what happened. They tried to go 6'7" because last year a lot of people went 6'7s. But as we've seen on this game, tall builds shoot over everybody. That build is just not tall enough, and it also gets shot over. I've been telling everybody, I think the perfect height is probably going to be 6'9", because at 6'9", let me show you, I looked into like everything like very deeply. If we look at the badges here, we go to badge tiers, you guys can see brick wall is a tier 2 badge on a 6'9", but if you go to 6'10" or taller, this badge becomes tier 1, which if you know anything about the badge perks, build specialization stuff, this matters a lot. You want very good badges to be in tier 2. It makes your build so much better. And so 6'9" is the tallest height that has brick wall in tier 2, and then also 6'9" is the tallest height that allows you to still get very good jump shot bases like Matt Ryan. That's the base that I've been going crazy with. Once you hit starter 4, you can get Culver, T-Max, stuff like that. If you go 6'10" or taller, you're entering the big men jump shot range. And so that makes the jumpers a lot worse. I just think 6'9" is the perfect height. Still shoot over people with a 6'9". I've seen it. I have a teammate that does it all the time. And then for the weight, you're gonna wanna go 235. That is the perfect weight that gives you the most speed and agility while also getting the strength that you need and the rebounding that you need, except it's not final yet because we're gonna be going max wingspan. On centers, on lockdowns, I like going max wingspan. I think it's very important. There's a lot of people that are posting center builds right now that are going minimum wingspan, especially on these 7'4s, these 7'3s, those tall builds. They're going minimum wingspan just to get their shooting to be insane. It's like, yeah, we can get a 94 midi, a 91.3, but you're not grabbing boards. Look at the rebounding ratings. Look at, you know, the defense is going to be bad. You're not going to get as many lanes, contest, stuff like that. If you're going to be playing center, you got to care about that type of stuff. You got to play defense. You got to get boards. So we're going max wingspan, 6'9", 235, and you could go center if you want, but I like to go power forward in case I do play 5s and want to play with a footer. This way you can dominate and play back end, which honestly is more fun than playing center and guarding corner. You guys need to take advantage to this offer, especially if you like sports. On Underdog Fantasy, when you use promo code SOLO, you can play a $5 pick'em and get $50 win or lose on that pick'em. That's essentially a free $50, and by using promo code SOLO, you'll get up to $1,000 in bonus credit. You will also get this special pick'em where a player needs to only get 1 yard for you to win. All Underdog is higher or lower end player stats. You can mix and match sports, making up to 8 picks, and I put $25 on these 8 picks, which would win over 3,000 if they were all correct. So serious when I say this, there's no better time to get an Underdog than now because the NFL season is here. And if you know what you're talking about when it comes to sports, you might as well make some money. Again, make sure to use promo code SOLO because you'll be getting 3 different special offers. You need to take advantage of this right now. Let's make some money on Underdog this week, but be sure to play responsibly. Okay, so now we have the attribute screen, and this is very important. It has never been harder or trickier to make a build on this screen because we have to factor in all the cap breakers. There is 28, I believe, cap breakers that you can earn through the rep system, through quests, stuff like that. You have to factor those in, and you also have to factor in all of the badge perks There's like 10 of them. I wrote down everything. So I'll explain to you guys like where we're gonna be putting every single badge perk and where we're gonna be putting every single cap breaker. To start off, let's upgrade our defensive rebound. Now we are gonna be going with an 89 on the defensive rebound. Now you might think this is a little bit low, but let me tell you why we're going 89. You guys can see we have silver rebound chaser and gold box out beast down there on the bottom. Now, if you know anything about cap breakers, you can put 5 cap breakers on each attribute. So with some of our first 5 cap breakers, we're gonna put this up to a 94. This will give us Hall of Fame box out beast and gold rebound chaser, which we can then max +2 rebound chaser and max +1 box out beast. We're gonna have both of them on legend with a 94 defensive rebound. And guys, if this is the first build that you're making and you're trying to copy me, you're trying to look at a center build video, I'm telling you, invest into that build and plan for cap breakers. Yeah, you're not gonna have them right away and your build's gonna be a little bit bad, you know, for the first few games, but it is worth it because you get cap breakers so easily in this game. There's one at rookie 5, there's one at starter 3, which you get pretty quickly. If you join a crew, you can earn 4 very easily. Level 40 has one. Like, there's so many ways to earn cap breakers, so definitely plan for them in your build. And the next spot we're gonna be putting cap breakers is going to be on our strength. Now, there's been a lot of talks about strength. Should you go 83, which is where you get that silver brick wall? You can max +2 that up to Hall of Fame. Also, strength helps with rebounding animations, worm animations. It matters a lot. People have been labbing this. They've been going low, like very low strength, like, you know, 83 or maybe even lower. I've seen some people do. I want to go a little bit higher than that. We're gonna go 86 and we're gonna put +5 cap breakers on strength to get brick wall onto gold, and then we're gonna max +2 that to legend. So we're gonna have all these badges legend, brick wall legend, rebound chaser legend, box out beast legend. And you guys might be thinking, Solo, why are you making a build for 10 cap breakers? The game just came out. Well, I'm about to have 10 cap breakers. The game's been out for a little bit over a week. I'm about to have 10. I know it's gonna take you guys a little bit longer than me to grind the game and get them, but it's worth it. Honestly, I'm about to have 13 cap breakers. Like, it's so easy. You can get them through quests, doing crew stuff, the crew levels. I just talked about it, but just trust me, bro. Build your build for cap breakers. You're not gonna regret it. Because for example, if you didn't and you just wanted to go, you know, straight up to 94 rebounding and you wanted to get the 91 strength off rip, that is so expensive. Like, now the build's gonna be so much worse. Like, you're probably not gonna get like dunking, or maybe your shooting's gonna be really low, or your pass accuracy's gonna be cooked. You know what I'm saying? So build for cap breakers. Next thing, I'm gonna max out my speed and max out my agility. Now, the agility does help for some defensive badges, but I just wanna be quick. You gotta be quick, you know, as a defensive type build, being a center. And going 6'9" allows us to do that. There's gonna be a lot of centers that go 7 foot plus. We're gonna be literally like 20 speed faster than them. And the next thing that matters a lot is vertical. If you're making a center build, you need a lot of vertical. Now, usually I do like going higher on my vertical, but since it is a popper and it's not just a pure inside center, we will be getting shooting on this build. I'm not gonna go crazy high like a 90 vertical, although you could do that, but then you'd probably have to take the defense way down, which you guys will see, we're gonna have insane defense. Also, for the O board, you gotta bring this up. We saw it last year with O board. You know, people would go like 99 D board, get the rebound chaser, and then they just kind of leave the O board down pretty low. You want both to be pretty high or you will be getting snagged over. So we're gonna go 81 on the O board and then 89 for the D board with the +5, so it'll be 94. Next up, let's upgrade the defense on this build, and I think this build is gonna be a defensive monster, a rebounding and defensive monster. For the steal, we're gonna be going 85. Glove does not matter that much for centers. It's also just a bad badge right now unless they drop a patch. Interceptor is pretty crazy though. So we're gonna have interceptor on gold. And if you wanna max +2 it, you can, but the way that I set it up, I'm probably gonna end up max +1ing it, but you could max +2 it. It's either gonna be set shot max +2 or interceptor max +2. And the other one's gonna be only max +1. I'd probably go set shot with the max +2 and then interceptor with +1. But if you wanna get crazy, you could max +2 interceptor and have that on legend. Next up, we're gonna put our interior defense up to a 74 to give us that bronze post lockdown. You don't need that much higher. I mean, yeah, again, I know you guys are watching this video and there's probably gonna be certain stats. Maybe it's interior defense, maybe it's the O board, maybe it's the vertical that you want to get higher. If you wanna make an all-around center build, I'm telling you, you hop in the build yourself, you're gonna be missing something. So you can't have everything. You can't have 85 plus on every single stat. That's just not happening. But with our block being 84, we have silver high flying denier, and we have silver paint patroller, as you guys can see. It would be nice to get that 88 block for the gold high flying denier, but I don't know what you're gonna lower. You guys will see in a second. For perimeter defense, we're gonna be going with a 74. So we'll be able to switch if needed. We do have that speed and agility as well. This gives us a bunch of bronze badges, silver, a movable enforcer, which I'll be max +1ing to gold. Also, a movable enforcer is a tier 2 badge, so that makes it very easy you see brick wall, you know, a movable enforcer, or if you want to put up like challenger or something, but I'm probably gonna be doing a movable, or high flying denier also as a tier 2. So these badges are gonna be easy to get up because usually they put the good badges in tier 1, but this build has some glitchy badges in tier 2. Now we have the shooting, and when I first made this build, I had maxed out the 3-pointer. That is very, you know, it's a very good thing to have, right? Obviously having the highest 3-pointer, but what you'll realize if you look at the badges is that you don't get any more badges by going higher than 78. You get set shot at 78, which you could also just get that through the midi. Like let's say we had a 73-pointer, we will be maxing out the midi on this build. We're still gonna have all the same badges, right? So if you wanna go down on the 3, if you're feeling confident, if you're feeling crazy, you could do that. But what I ended up doing is I ended up going 78. You know, if you go max, it's an 80. Bringing it down to, I feel like it's not gonna make a huge difference. You get the same exact badges. And then with the 83 midi, this helps us out with, of course, getting some badges. But not only that, the jump shot bases. If you only go with this 78 or even an 80, 3-pointer, and then you keep your midi down at minimum, which would be a 70, you're missing out on Matt Ryan base. You're missing out on really good custom jump shots. So what I did is I brought the 3-pointer down, brought the midi up. You could try and, you know, go with an 83-pointer, but if you want, you know, your pass accuracy up or your standing dunk up, like we'll get to that in a second, but you're going to be missing something. So I ended up bringing the 3-pointer down a little bit. And then with the badges, we will be max plus 2ing set shots. So we're going to have that on Hall of Fame. And then we'll also be max plus 1ing Deadeye to silver. Next, we have the finishing. Now, this build is not going to get insane finishing unless you want to cap break the driving dunk up. I've seen a lot of centers go with like no finishing, especially some of these 7-4s. They have low finishing. They're like all shooting. Even like I saw Iggy Mo make a build where he has like, I think a 45 standing dunk or something on a 6'9" center. And I just don't really agree with that. I think you need at least bronze rise up. So we'll be getting that at a 72 standing dunk. And this, of course, will be giving us some dunk packages if you want to see the standing dunks. You know, it's not going to give us all of them. It's not going to give us, you know, look at this though. We got the ones on the left, the 1-hand, 2-hand, and the pro under. And then we have elite basket rim pull. So it's not going to give us these 2 athletic ones, but it gives us 4 standing dunk packages plus that rise up badge, which helps out a lot. Something I will tell you, because it is pretty glitchy, if you put your driver dunk up to a 75, which unfortunately, that's not going to be happening on our build unless we lowered something. I don't know what you would lower, but if you go 75 driver dunk down the line, when you get cap breakers, you can get contact dunks, because if you put +5 cap breakers on a driver dunk at a 75 driver dunk, it'll go all the way up to 89. And if that sounds confusing, the cap breaker system is different this year. They're weighted differently. So if you have a low stat, like say, you know, my pass accuracy is 25 right now. If I put 5 cap breakers on it, it wouldn't bring it up to a 30. That was what it was last year, but it would bring it up to like a 70 or something. It would give you like +15 for that first cap breaker, then like +12. You know what I'm saying? So if you go 75 driver dunk, you can get contact dunks. That's up to you. You'd have to tweak the build a decent amount. And then to essentially finish off the build, we need to have pass accuracy. If you're making a center with no pass accuracy, what are you doing? You got to throw the brakes when you're on the 3s court, or especially the 5s court. You got to be able to pass the ball. Dimer matters, shooting off dimer matters. So we're going to be going with a 75 on the pass accuracy. You're going to want a max +1 dimer up to gold. And if you're playing, you know, 5s or maybe even 3s, you could, you know, instead of doing Deadeye max +1 to silver, you could instead put that on break starter and put that up 1 to gold. So you're gonna put your final attribute onto post control, and this is what the build is looking like. Now, I do have to say, if you're skipping to this part of the video because you're just impatient or whatever, it's fine, but listen up. This build is built for cap breakers. You're putting 5 cap breakers on D board, which will give you a 94 D board for Boxed Out Beast Hall of Fame, Rebound Chaser on gold, which you could then max +1 and max +2 those badges up to legend. And you're also going to want to put 5 cap breakers onto strength, which will give you a 91 strength for gold brick wall, and then you can max +2 that up to legend. So I built this build for 10 cap breakers, which you can get pretty quick if you do the quest, if you join a crew, if you hit, you know, rookie 5, starter 3, you could do that in the first few weeks. I'm not going to lie. It's just smarter to make a build that's built for cap breakers and badge perks, and that's exactly what I did here. This build is not anything crazy. It's not about to come out here and get you contact dunks. It's not about to dribble crazy, but this is what I think is a meta popper for the 3s, for the 2s. Again, 7-footers are looking crazy, but they have no defense. So with a 6'9", you're getting all the jump shot bases like Matt Ryan. If you go 6'10" or taller, you're not getting that. Also, 6'9" is the tallest height, where brick wall is still a tier 2 badge. So you get a lot of help with that when it comes to the badge perks. Also, for your build specialization, you want to pick the rebounding path. That is very, very important. Do not pick the shooting path. Pick the rebounding path, because you're going to want to put 2 of those cap breakers on rebound. And then for the badge perks, it just helps out a lot, giving you another max +2 for rebound chaser and another max +1, which you can use on box out beast. So real quick, because I know if you guys are going to be making this build, you're going to want to know what to put the badge perks on. This is very important because it makes the build so much better. I built this for 8 badge perks. You got your max +2s, you got your max +1s. That's 4 right there. Then once you get the rebounding path done for the build specialization, you're going to have another max +2 and another max +1. That's 6. Now, if you're in a crew, you have 2 more max +1, so that is 8 badge perks. With the normal max +2 tier 1 badge perk, you're gonna wanna put set shot up to Hall of Fame, or if you're feeling crazy and you want interceptor on legend, you could do that as well, although I probably would go set shot. And then with the max +2 tier 2 badge perk, the regular one, of course, once you put your cappers on strength, brick wall will be gold, and then you're gonna put that up to legend. With your regular max +1 at tier 1 badge perk, that is what you're gonna put set shot, or what I'm probably gonna do is interceptor up to Hall of Fame, because set shot will be on the max +2. With your regular max +1 tier 2 badge, you're gonna put immovable from silver up to gold. With your 2 build specialization badge perks, you're gonna max +2 rebound chaser from gold to legend, and box out beast from Hall of Fame to legend. And then with your 2 crew max +1s, you're gonna wanna put Deadeye to silver or break starter up to gold. And then with the other one, you're gonna wanna put Dimer up to gold. I know it's a whole lot of yap, but all this stuff matters when we're talking about builds. You're not gonna make a good build without considering everything when it comes to the cap breakers and the build specialization and the badge perks, all that. But if you're making a build, luckily for you guys, I did all the work for you. And then if we click continue, we can see the shades and the build name. We got AK-47, Chris Webber, and Prime Prime, I don't know, maybe you debate that, but Anthony Davis from the Pelicans. And the build name is kind of crazy. We have a disruptive mid-range scorer. That's a tough build name, I can't lie. Like, if you care about build names, disruptive mid-range scorer is kind of, I haven't seen that. I have not seen that on the game whatsoever. You can see the strengths, you can see the weaknesses. Yeah, I think as far as making an all-around big man build with speed, being able to shoot, being able to play defense, being able to get standing dunks, pass the ball, this build has it all. Height matters in this game. We know that. You know, you can make a 7-footer if you want, but again, you're going to be very bad on defense. Whenever a 7-footer pulls with me on the 2s, we just attack him. Like, that's free ISOs. They cannot keep up. Going 6'9", you're going to be able to play defense. That's what I'm stressing this whole video, is I want to be able to play defense while also getting boards and being able to do it all. Let me know if you guys make this build. Let me know how it's going for you in the comments below. Live right now on Twitch, solo_ on Twitch, link in the description. Of course, subscribe if you guys haven't already. I'll see y'all in the next one. Click the video, pop it to your screen right now if you haven't seen it yet.